A guide to the components inside my computer. Hello and welcome to VideoJug. We're going to show you what the major components inside your computer are and tell you a little about what each of them do. Guiding us on this tour will be Phil Borton of Vista Technology Support in Brighton. Step 1. The major components. The major components of a computer are the motherboard, the CPU or Central Processing Unit, RAM or the Random Access Memory, the graphics card, the power supply, the hard disk or hard drive, the optical drive, also known as a CD or DVD drive. Step 2. Hardware and software. All of these components are usually found within the tower of a desktop computer. They are referred to as hardware. Hardware can be thought of as the actual physical components that go into the computer. Software refers to the programs and systems that operate within the hardware. Step 3. The motherboard. The motherboard is the heart of the computer. It is the largest and most fundamental component of a PC, and every other component is attached to it in some way. This is because all the different components use the motherboard to communicate and work with each other. The motherboard has a series of slots, sockets and connectors for attaching the components of a PC. In most cases, the memory, accessory cards and CPU are installed directly onto the motherboard. The drives and peripherals communicate with the motherboard through wired connections. There are a wide range of motherboards to choose from. They differ in features, speed, capacity and the CPU supported. They also differ in size, shape and layout. This is commonly referred to as the form factor. Step 4. The CPU. CPU stands for Central Processing Unit. This is the brain of the computer and is often referred to as the processor or the chip. It is found under a heatsink and fan and sits directly on the motherboard. The CPU directs, coordinates and communicates with the other components and performs all of the thinking. It is not really thinking. What a CPU actually does is perform mathematical calculations. It is the software that people write that translates these calculations into useful functions for us. Step 5. RAM. RAM stands for Random Access Memory and comes as modules in predefined amounts. It is also found directly on the motherboard and usually in 1, 2 or 4 slots.